The dark horse of supercars. Why nobody talks about the Zenvo TSR-S. There is a name that rarely makes the headlines in a world that is enamored with Bugattis, Koenigsegg's, Lamborghinis, and McLarens, but it has every cause to. It's crazy, loud, and incredibly fast. Strangely enough though, hardly nobody discusses it. That name? Zenvo TSR-S. The Zenvo TSR-S is a road-legal beast that is deserving of a place at the hypercar table, yet it was built by a modest Danish business that few people outside the automotive industry can even pronounce. But despite all of its unique features, aggressive style, and inventiveness, it goes unnoticed. We are removing the carbon fiber curtain today in order to discover why the Zenvo TSR-S isn't being discussed. And above all, ought they to be? Before we dive in, hit like, tap subscribe, and don't forget the bell icon. Meet Zenvo, the Danish disruptor. First, let's talk about the business. A relative newcomer to the field of high-end automobile manufacturing. Zenvo Automotive was established in 2004. Located in Præstø, Denmark, it lacks Porsche's billion-dollar R&D budget and Ferrari's history of motorsport. However, Zenvo is obsessed with unadulterated mechanical performance. The ST1, the company's first production model, gained notoriety in the early 2010s due to its aggressive appearance and V8 turbocharger. Well, it was a monster, but a very erratic one. Zenvo improved its technique over time, and by the time the TSR-S came off the assembly line, it had developed into something genuinely unique. In essence, the TSR-S is Zenvo's masterpiece, a fusion of street-legal usability and track-borne fury designed to scare racetracks and blow minds rather than impress investors or follow trends. Design: a supercar with attitude. First of all, you're lucky if you see a Zenvo TSR-S on the street. There are very few. However, once you do, it's hard to ignore. Sharp angles, massive inlets, and vents that resemble something from a fighter jet rather than a car characterize the brutal aerodynamics. The front is intimidating, the side profile is muscular, and the back is a jumbled combination of mesh, carbon, and what may be its most recognizable element, the Centripetal Wing. Let's take a moment to discuss this wing. It's a robotic aero system, not just a spoiler. During cornering, it actively tilts side to side in addition to up and down. Yes, you heard correctly. The wing leans to the right when the automobile turns left, much like a motorcycle navigating a bend. Increased grip and downforce during lateral movement are the outcomes. It's theatrical as well as brilliant. The remainder of the vehicle is constructed for the same reason. Zenvo made no attempt to imitate anyone. The TSR-S appears to be exactly what it is, a Danish beast created without regard for convention or moderation. The engine: mechanical mayhem. A 5.8-liter twin-supercharged V8. Yes, twin-supercharged is located inside the rear clamshell. That is remarkable in and of itself. Most vehicles have either a supercharger or a turbocharger, but not both. Zero components of Zenvo's specially designed engine are taken from mass producers, making it completely original. It generates 1,100 Nm of torque and 1,177 horsepower. Silent, smooth acceleration is not the goal of this engine. It is a crackling, roaring monster that reacts like a sledgehammer and roars like a race car. Electric assistance and a hybrid system are not available. It's simply traditional combustion taken to its utmost extreme. What about the transmission? It has a 7-speed paddle-shift gearbox with a dogbox arrangement, which makes for incredibly quick changes that are unreservedly raw. Comfort mode does not exist. Absence of mild suspension settings. The TSR-S isn't attempting to watch over you. It's appealing in part because it's trying to shake your spine out of your body. Performance: numbers with real-world bite. What does all that power accomplish then? It takes 2.8 seconds to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour and 6.8 seconds to go from 0 to 124 miles per hour. Once more though, this is more than a quarter-mile hero. When everything is moving, including corners, transitions, and high-speed sweepers, the TSR-S performs exceptionally well. It grips the pavement with racing car accuracy because of its ultra-light carbon body and that adaptable wing. Only 202 miles per hour is the maximum speed, which seems reasonable in a world where hypercars are reaching 300 miles per hour. However, that figure is a little deceptive. The TSR-S was created by Zenvo for racetrack dominance and aerodynamic balance, not for breaking speed records. It's about lap times, not bragging rights. Road legal, certainly, but genuinely at home on a track. Imagine it as a Danish Apollo I or a more aggressive McLaren Senna. Interior. No nonsense, just purpose. The Zenvo TSR-S adheres to the same brutalist ideology inside. Everything is reduced to the necessities. From the floor to the seats to the dash, carbon fiber is used extensively. Very little technology and padding are present. You won't find a fancy infotainment screen or massaging seats. Digital telemetry screens, a race-inspired steering wheel, and a minimalist interior that emphasizes attention and feedback are what you do get. It's not uncomfortable though. The seats are comfortable, the driving position is great, and there are considerate details that let you know this is a road car rather than a Le Mans prototype. However, the inside isn't meant to spoil you. It serves as a reminder that you are operating an unfiltered aircraft. Why doesn't anyone talk about it? The big question is right here. Why is the Zenvo TSR-S so underappreciated, given its exceptional engineering, raw power, and distinctive design? There are several explanations. Brand recognition comes first. Zenvo lacks Ferrari's and Lamborghini's enormous marketing apparatus. It doesn't compete in Le Mans or Formula One. It doesn't host extravagant launch parties or post a ton of influencer ads on Instagram. Production figures come in second. Only a small number of cars are produced annually by Zenvo. There are currently just a few dozen TSR-S models in the world. Therefore, unless you're immersed in supercar forums, it's doubtful that you'll see, hear, or even come across one online. Price and rarity come in third. The TSR-S is extremely exclusive at over $1.7 million. Additionally, consumers frequently select brands with established prestige and resale value for that price. A connoisseur's pick, the Zenvo was purchased to destroy Benz on a confined track in Sweden, rather than to show off at Monaco. Perception comes last. The notorious Top Gear review of the ST1, in which it caught fire and spun out, is still remembered by some as Zenvo's first mishap, even if the company's engineering and dependability have significantly improved since then. That PR catastrophe persisted. Why it deserves the spotlight? In spite of everything, the Zenvo TSR-S is deserving of further notice. It is the pinnacle of independent engineering. It's what happens when you allow a team of driven engineers to create a supercar without the pressures of a boardroom, brand anxiety, or mass market objectives. It is the opposite of Tesla, the opposite of the mainstream. A device designed for drivers that prioritize passion over efficiency, soul over software, and grip over devices. Furthermore, the TSR-S is an endangered species, a raw, analog beast wrapped in carbon skin. At a time when the majority of performance cars are getting safer, quieter, and more digitally filtered. The future of Zenvo, going hybrid and beyond. Interestingly, Zenvo isn't standing still. The company recently revealed plans for an all-new hybrid hypercar called the Aurora, featuring a V12 and electric motors. Yes, a V12 in 2025. This signals that while the TSR-S may be a last hurrah for pure combustion, Zenvo is looking forward. Still, the TSR-S remains the defining symbol of what Zenvo stands for: mechanical bravery, wild design, and performance that punches way above its weight. In the world of supercars, where does the Zenvo TSR-S stand? It's not the most eye-catching. It isn't the most opulent. In a straight line, it's not the fastest. However, it may be the world's most unvarnished, honest, and underappreciated performance machine. It's an automobile designed for those who don't have the same desires. An automobile that, when people whisper, yells. A dark horse with all the heart and strength of a thoroughbred, albeit rough around the edges. Let us know in the comments. Would you take the Zenvo over a Ferrari SF90 or McLaren P1? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the cars that deserve more love.